How was it like growing up in Puerto Rico? I guess in the sense of like did you live differently? Like
To like here.
like for example, if you're in PR, this might be a weird question. If you're in PR, you'd wake up and like, oh, I can actually go to the beach.
I mean, I actually really disliked the beach growing up. So like I
Mm.
like people think living in Puerto Rico, let's go to the beach every day.
Yeah.
I didn't live like okay, so like to people, I guess like in the
What's your address?
I think in the States, I think of the
Just kidding.
I think in the States like what I'm about to say might sound like it's close, but like the Puerto Rico is a small island, so if you like live in Puerto Rico, it's like for example, I was like 30 minutes away from a beach. And like maybe here, like Michigan's like, oh, that's pretty close. But for me, like 30 minutes is like, bro, like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
It's like a
that's
fourth
a
of the
little while.
island.
I lived like more so like not in the middle of the island,
Mm-hmm.
but like if anyone's from Puerto Rico, if you know where Caguas is, I lived in Caguas. And that's like a bit south from the capital.
The heart of the island.
Yeah, they call it like the heart of the island,
Yeah.
or whatever. But I didn't really like the beach. In terms of like living differently, I mean, I lived way different. Like I didn't even worry about the cold.
Yeah.
Like I would never look at the temperature app. I would not be concerned about.
You would just know it's hot.
Like I just know it's like probably gonna be like it's gonna be I was not concerned on temperature change.
Yeah.
Like I was never like the only thing was it got too hot. You're like okay, it's like 105 or something. It's like really hot today.
Mm-hmm.
But like Puerto Rico was real humid too, and there's like trees. So I was like, where I lived, there wasn't too much breeze. So it was just, you just were pretty, it was like more so whether it was going to rain or not, rather than
Yeah.
like it was just going to change temperature. Because even if it's raining, it's still like hot.
Like
And it just, no, when it
hurricane
rains,
season?
it just sucks. I'm not going to lie. When it rains, it's just humid, and you're sticky, just everything just,
Okay.
it feels heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
So I've been to PR twice now. Big thanks to this dude, by the way. Amazing dude. My roommate. And I suggest everyone, if you can, one of these days, maybe invest in the trip to Puerto Rico. Maybe I'll have an episode where I just talk about PR, but like I think it'll change your life. Especially if you've never been to like that side of the world before. And like another question I had for you is like, I guess what you see among like Puerto Ricans too is like, are their lifestyles different than Americans? Like I can tell you like Americans like nowadays I feel like there's a fast food chain on like every block. Definitely just a big like consumerism mentality. And I even feel like we're like kind of stepping away from like I guess like nature and like God in maybe some ways too. Is there like a consensus or like a way, like a culture maybe? People live their life in Puerto Rico. Like a difference from here.
I mean, yeah, like it's different, but it has a lot of similarities, obviously, with the U.S. colonizing PR. Like there is a lot.
Yeah, it's a U.S. colony. That's a whole thing too.
So like we do have our own culture. It's interesting. So it's like for Puerto Ricans, first you gotta like when we speak on like Puerto Rican culture, it's like there's Puerto Rican culture where it's like universal. Like if you live in Florida, you could still, or live in New York or something, you can still have that Puerto Rican culture. There's that side of the culture, and then there's living in the island of Puerto Rico culture. They're very different because it's like the environment dictates a lot, right? So in PR, obviously, with like the situation of we just been recovering for a while from the hurricane.
Yeah.
What's it called? Also, you have situations like the extreme amount of gentrification that's happening like in more of the bigger like cities. But if you're not from the bigger cities, like it's hard to describe. It's very different. So like if you go to like the capital or like the bigger like cities, it's really Americanized.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of places in Puerto Rico that's like it's still Puerto Rican, but it's like you could tell that the U.S. has their fingerprints on it. And you mentioned with the fast food and the like just the consumeristic mindset, like that's very, very, very strong in like especially where the younger communities is. But like a lot of the middle of the island is like it's like older people because there's more old people than middle-aged people. There's not that many like middle-aged people on the island just based on like after the hurricane, most like people just moved. They just moved to Florida because we have American citizenship, so it just makes sense. It made sense for a lot of people. So if you had the money, essentially, like a lot of those middle class people that had the money, they moved to a better place because it's just like if you had the opportunity, right? Why not seek better? But then a lot of the people that either didn't have the funds or maybe they were just so well off that they just didn't really care. They would just stay. So it lead like this really weird. So it's like you're gonna find like very like fluctuates. It's like places where it's like really traditional Puerto Rican, like mountains, like Jibaro, if you know what that means, like Puerto Rican, like where you from the mountains and your grandpas they do like the cockfighting and stuff like with the
with chickens.
Yeah,
Okay.
that kind of Puerto Rican.
I don't know if that's here for real.
That Puerto Rican culture, and then there's like the more Americanized, which it would be pretty similar here. The only difference is like we speak Spanish and we're like Latinos, so it's like we're Caribbeans at the end of the day. So like that kind of flair of culture. Like music is very popular, entertainment is very popular. We're like the hub of Latin music.
Okay. Do you have any Puerto Rican foods that you would suggest? I mean, I've had mofongo, which is pretty good, which is like plantain. I don't even know how to describe it actually properly. You wanna describe it?
Yeah, so
Tostones.
Like mofongo. So in PR we eat a lot of plantains. And there's many different ways you can eat plantains. There's what we call like amarillos or maduros, which are like if like it just cut up plantains and you just fry them and it's sweet. Then we have tostones, which are like you take plantain, you mash it into a disc and fry it and salt it. And then
those are so good.
And then we eat that with maju ketchup. You know what I mean? No, not
mayo.
Not mayo ketchup, maju ketchup.
Bro, you don't like mayo?
Maju ketchup. You know what I mean? You mix it. That's how you make it. And then there's mofongo, which is like it's like a volcano of plantains that you mash, and then you like form into a volcano, and you could like put all kinds of chicken or meat or shrimp or seafood, anything you kind of want in there, and then they have different sauces on it. It's like the texture is like hard, like it's like not hard like a rock.
Like it can hold its shape.
Yeah,
it's like firm.
It's firm. Yeah. Like it has some resistance
substance.
when you bite into it. It's like
I'm
trying to think of a comparison, but nothing like comes to mind on the top of my head. But yeah,